SMS line is open all through this 23059. And before we get to all the lineup that I've just given out to you, we are starting off with a news bulletin this great morning. Wherever you're watching, you can send your comment, you can share, and you can comment from wherever you're watching from, and we show the best in our bulletins. And starting us off from not good stories yesterday, a Sunday church service in Othaya turned into a scene of terror after DCP party leader and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was targeted in a violent attack at Witima SCK Church, raising fresh concerns over political violence and public safety in the country. Witnesses say plainclothes police officers accompanied by unidentified assailants stormed the church compound, firing gunshots and hurling tear gas canisters into the congregation, sending worshippers, many of them women and children, into panic and confusion. The attack has reportedly advanced toward the church buildings into residents, described as a coordinated and tactical style assault. As chaos spread, several vehicles parked within the church compound were vandalized, with some set ablaze and others looted, turning the holy ground into a battleground. Worshippers fled for their lives, with many sustaining injuries in the stampede and the unfolding violence. Still moving on with the STEM story, DCP party leader and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has broken his silence following the violent incident at Witima SCK Church in Othaya, where claims police officer disrupted a church service in which he was attending. Speaking to the media at his Wamunyoro home in Jerry County, Gachagua accused the government of using intimidation and fear to suppress the opposition ahead of the 2027 general election. He directly blamed President William Ruto, saying the attack was part of a wider political strategy to silence dissenting voices.
Got this press briefing after the very violent attack, an assassination attempt by government through the Kenya Police Service today in Witima, Othaya, where we had gone for a church service. And I want to correct that media stations earlier reported that attack by unknown people. It is not unknown. This attack was by the police, and we'll give you the details. We are indeed not surprised that William Ruto has turned against the Church of Christ, and he has turned against women and children. This is part of his political DNA. It is in public knowledge that William Ruto organized an attack on women and children in Kiambaa Church in 2008. The first 2 days, on 2nd January 2008, children and women were burnt alive in church. It is William Ruto who organized that attack. And when he came and became our friend, we forgave him and we thought that he had changed his bad ways. But as soon as he became president, he went back to his old habits. He has a serious problem with the Church of Christ. He has a bone to pick with women and children. He attacked women and children in Mweki, PCA. He attacked women and children in Kariobangi. He attacked women and children in Gatundu. Today he has attacked women and children in Wetima. William Ruto, we had thought that you have changed your bad habit of killing women and children in church. Apparently, you have not changed. You have even become more vicious as president, because now you have power, you have the police, and you have everybody to back you up. But I want to tell you, for every life lost, for every attack on women and children, God is seeing you, and God will punish you. We want to appeal to the international community to come through for Kenya. William Ruto is setting the stage for civil strife ahead of the elections because he knows he's losing. He wants Kenya to be like Tanzania or like Uganda. I want to tell William Ruto, Kenya cannot be Uganda and it cannot be Tanzania. We want to call on the international community, who are our friends, to come through for Kenya. This impunity by William Ruto, setting the stage for civil war ahead of the elections, must be checked, because the people will not take it. And what has happened today has set the temperatures extremely high.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has condemned the violent attack at Witima ICK Church, where the CP party leader and former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua was reportedly attacked by the vendors alleged to be police officers. Speaking during a church service shortly after the incident, Musyoka warned that if anything were to happen to Gachagua, responsibility would lie squarely within the President William Ruto and Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja. He accused the head of state for using intimidation tactics to silence the opposition.
Nikiwa hapa nataka nitoe mwito maalum hapa. Tukiwa hapa mwenzetu Mheshimiwa Rigiji, ambaye alikuwa naibu wa rais wa William Ruto, akiwa kanisani Nyeri ACK Church, ameingiliwa pale, askari wanatupa tear gas ndani ya kanisa, wanapiga risasi ndani ya kanisa. Tukiwa hapa as you are preaching, Pastor Phyllis, na sasa ile ambayo nimepata saa hii nikiwa pale ni kwamba ametekwa nyara yeye mwenyewe na watu ambao wamejifunika macho, barakoa. Kwa hivyo naomba tafadhali, hata kabla sijaendelea, Reverend Murudi hapa, muombe kwamba maisha ya Rigiji yahifadhiwe na serikali ya William Ruto. Yaani sasa haiwezekani kwamba muundo wa siasa zetu umefikia kiwango hicho. Kwa hivyo natoa mwito kwa Wakenya wenzangu, wakatae katakata siasa ya utekaji nyara kwa kanisa, kuingilia mahala patakatifu na kutupa tear gas. This is God's altar, as indeed that altar at ACK Church in Nyeri. Kwa hivyo tunakemea kwa nguvu zote tukio hilo na kuweka mbele yake Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto. Ni lazima yeye mwenyewe ndiye ameidhinisha tukio kama hilo. Haliwezekani bila William Ruto kusema fanyeni hiyo kazi. Maisha ya Rigiji yakiadhirika, akiumizwa, even mental torture itself, we place it squarely before Inspector General Kanja and President William Ruto. Under Constitution 2010, utekaji nyara, kuweka viongozi kizuizini. Remember, kulikuwa nyakati zile watu kama Matiba waliwekwa kizuizini, lakini kabla Kibaki kutuacha sisi atuachia urithi wa maana.
And such an interesting turn and twist of a sudden story that took place yesterday at Othaya. The government has condemned the violent incident at Witima ICK Church in Othaya, calling for swift investigations and accountability for those responsible. The Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen described the attack as unacceptable, emphasizing that violence, especially in places of worship, undermines democracy and violates the public's rights to freedom of assembly. Murkomen confirmed that he has spoken with Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, who assured that investigations are ongoing and perpetrators will be brought to justice. At the same time, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki condemned all forms of politically motivated violence, warning that such actions erode the foundations of democracy. He called for an impartial investigation into the planners, executors, and enablers of the attack, stressing that successful prosecution is key to preventing violence from replacing healthy democratic competition. Uganda's National Unity Platform (NUP) has raised serious concerns over what it describes as government intimidation and harassment following a raid on the home of opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine. The incident, which occurred on Saturday, involved armed men storming the residence, ransacking rooms and threatening the family. Bobi Wine's wife, Barbara Kyagulanyi, speaking from a hospital bed in Kampala, alleged that the attackers were heavily armed and appeared intoxicated, forcing their way through the gate while her husband remains in hiding following disputed elections.
They were so many, heavily armed, drunk, and they looked the same and spoke one language. They broke into the gate, the lower gate. Our askari was in a different corner, so he saw them and he called me. When he came back, he went in the same position where he was. He lifted me by the trousers. I was wearing nighty trousers and a shirt. He lifted me by the trousers, lifted me up, and then the one who was standing in front of me strangled me by the neck from the front.
Many of our leaders are being raided, arrested. We cannot tell who's going to be next. These things are going on everywhere. You wake up and you hear now someone has been raided, our comrades are being abducted day and night. So it's a very, very tough time in the National Unity Platform, but as I say, tough people outlast tough time.
ODM party leader Oburu Odinga has assured members that the party will not expel leaders who express dissenting views, underlining the importance of internal democracy as Kenya prepares for the 2027 general election. Speaking in Kisii County, Oburu emphasized his willingness to engage in dialogue with UDA to explore the formation of strategic electoral coalition, signaling a potential shift in the political landscape ahead of the next polls. Meanwhile, Siaya Governor James Orengo led a group of senior ODM leaders in Kawangware, advocating for a National Delegates Conference NDC to address internal party issues and consolidate decision-making, highlighting divisions between party leadership and regional factions.
And our party is not a party for expelling people. We are not going to expel anybody from the party. We want our party to grow.
Msidanganywe. Raila kusema mambo ya coalition. Alisema haki ya wananchi itimizwe kwanza.
Serikali ya UDA iko na maadili inafanana na ODM. Hawa ndio kwenye kuhujumu demokrasia kila siku. Wanashika vijana wetu eti kwa sababu mtu ameandika kitu kwa Facebook unatumiwa polisi na DCI.
Kwanza tunataka NDC iitwe. Na kama mwezi ita NDC, tuko hapa na katibu ambaye anasimamia mambo ya kuita NDC.
Why are you so jealous of Oburu? Why are you jealous? Wivu gani ambao unaona kwa huyu? I was in politics when Oburu wanted to run as governor in Siaya. You were posting.
I know in the party we have seen pressure groups, caucuses coming up. That's an unhealthy party. But for sure, under the leadership of Dr. Oburu, we will stabilize the vote.
Party leader ambaye atachaguliwa pale kwa NDC itakuwa ni Dr. Oburu Oginga.
na deputy party leader atakuwa Simba Arati, na mwingine atakuwa Abdul Swamad, na chairperson atakuwa si mwingine ila ni Gladys Nyasuna Wanga. Hiyo ndio tutafanya pale kwa NDC ambayo tutaiti.
Still moving on, Democratic Action Party DAPK leader Eugene Wamalwa has issued a pointed warning to National Assembly Speaker and Ford Kenya leader Moses Wetangula, saying that the growing ODM-UDA coalition in the head-up to the 2027 general election risk rendering Ford Kenya politically irrelevant. Speaking during the burial of former nominated MCA Johnston Barasa in Trans Nzoia County, Wamalwa invited Wetangula to consider forging an alliance with DAPK, signaling a possible realignment of political forces in Western Kenya.
Mimi kama Kwesle nikipima vizuri huu muungano wa UDA na ODM, sisikii Ford Kenya hapo sana. Mimi nimesikia ANC imerudishiwa Mudavadi, yeye na ANC yake waje na Ford Kenya. DAP tuko tayari, tukae tuanze kuongea mambo yetu ya 2020. Sijui kama mnanipa ruhusa jamani.
Whatever is being negotiated between UDA and ODM, Ford Kenya's position is very safe. Don't worry. At the time we see dalili ni mzuri, if I see you have a better chance, I'll stand behind you. If you say I have a better chance, I expect nothing less from you.
Remember, you're watching Morning Live. And moving on, Augustine Lukutela has been re-elected as the Bungoma County Secretary of the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, after defeating his closest rival, David Barasa, in a tightly contested election. Lukutela secured 2,375 votes against Barasa's 1,687 in a race that attracted high turnout and intense competition among teachers from secondary schools and tertiary institutions across the country. In the same elections, David Sichei was elected branch chairman, while Faith Wafula retained her position as treasurer, coming a new leadership team to serve for the next 5 years. Speaking after his victory, Lukutela pledged to intensify the fight for teachers' welfare, saying many critical issues affecting educators, including working conditions, promotions, and remuneration, still require urgent attention from their employer.
Executive Secretary, we had 2 candidates. Number 2, David W. Barasa, 1,687 votes. Number 1, Augustine K. Lukutela, 2,375 votes. For the position of treasurer, we had 2 candidates. Number 2, Ann J. Mlindo, 1,724 votes. Number 1, Faith N. Wafula, 2,337 votes.
Colleagues, you are very important. You value the leadership. People who can work for you.
Yes.
People who can sacrifice for you. Yes. I have worked for you, and I want to promise that I'm going to work for you. Those colleagues of ours, whom we've been elected with them in the same office, as your executive secretary, you are going to be the leaders of teachers of Bungoma County. When you come to that office, I don't want you to come and serve me and even serve yourself, but serve the teachers of Bungoma County. This is the politics of Bungoma now.
Yes.
You have seen whereby teachers, they've come in large numbers, more than 3,000 of them.
Yes.
And indicate that they want good leadership, particularly by colleagues from the junior secondary. I will make sure the autonomy is achieved.
For everything they have done today. You came in large numbers to make your voice be heard through the ballots. And I want to say that I want to thank you so much. You've done a great job. We worked as a team and we have reached out to colleagues. It has never been easy, but I want to say that the agenda that we had together shall be delivered through the office that has been elected today. We respect the voice of the teachers, and I want to promise that I'm going to deliver and lead you as a chairman Bungoma. I want to welcome every other aspirant who has lost today. You've not lost. Teachers have gained. And we shall be together with everybody here.
That story brings morning life to a short break. Remember, we're coming back with the dailies. Don't go too far. Good morning once again from wherever you're watching from. Remember, there's a every Kimayo. So to join this conversation, please just tag our social media platforms. That is EBN TV Kenya across. SMS line being 23059. Moving on to the dailies, and we're starting off. We've got the Daily Nation and the Standard newspaper, Kenya's board newspaper, and we're starting off with bad stories from the Standard newspaper, where we saw stories of, if you can remember very well, a story that took place of abduction from Koimburi, who was connected with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Now we're seeing an incident that took place yesterday, and there is also an incident that took place for Gachagua still, or even concerning Gachagua some few weeks ago, or some just months ago. And we're looking at a repetition of the same thing that took place yesterday in Othaya. And this is a church where Gachagua, Deputy former President, attended a service, and we're looking at attackers where people are saying that maybe it was staged, managed to make sure that Gachagua gets political sympathy, and we shall be digging in and trying to delve in deeper to see what the truth comes in. And but because Standard puts or even points out the truth, we're looking at a point where the key or even the biggest story on the Standard newspaper, the top page, is President Stop This. And this is a story that concerns what happened yesterday as far as former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua during a church service in Othaya is concerned. And something is called, it's under fire, and we remember sometimes the story, if you can just unearth it and get the story of Kiambaa, what happened sometimes back when a church was attacked and fire was stormed in the same place in the same sanctuary, which is not such a good story for a country that is developing. And before I even try to dig deeper into what is happening on the Standard newspaper, I'm trying to do a comparison that I most of the times keep doing. When I try to compare the presidency or even the leadership in Africa, you find that it is so wanting. It is so wanting in that we have a lot of deficiency. It's like when you get into power, you don't have to get out. And one of the biggest questions I have to pose or even to push to our very key leaders is that, or even any leader, because even you go to the grassroots, you find those people who control the Nyumba Kumi, you find them, they just want to stay, they want just to stack all through in the positions that they are given in the villages just down there. But the biggest question is that maybe the leaders that we have, and pushing or even coming all the way from Cameroon, Paul Biya, coming to Uganda, coming to Tanzania, even coming to our country. So some of the things that we're looking at, it's like someone is not ready to come out of a seat. I remember sometimes back, there was a statement from the two boss, Francis Atwoli. He was talking of Uhuru being very young to retire. But the biggest question is that because you're here to serve people, it is for the benefit of the public. I don't think whether you just sat there to take the longest time there. And so trying to look or even trying to balance all this and do a kind of a contrast is that leaders from Africa don't really want to retire. And that's why they push things into happen. 15th of January this year, general elections took place in Uganda, and they've not settled up. And my biggest plea, or even kind of begging to our leaders, is that if you feel that maybe, or even you've decided to exit, and again, there is a desire, or even there are these kinds of sycophantic followers, or they just stand out to say that loved by each and every person. And if you just try to sit down, look at your scorecard and find that you're not performing well to the people who voted you in, or even to the people who elected you into that position, I feel it is very good to have an open ear, an open eye to note what you've not done, and even to listen to those people who voted you in. And when it came to a certain time, when they feel that they are dissatisfied with your position or with what you're doing in that seat or position they gave you politically, I feel it is good that by good luck, by goodwill, that you just exit by your goodwill. Moving on, the tear gas in church, bullets in the hair, and children choking in Othaya marked the latest attack on former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua amid a surge in search. It is then since his impeachment. What unfolded at Witima SEK was not just political violence, but an assault on faith, law, and public safety, as accusations swirl around police involvement. Responsibility ultimately rests within President William Ruto, who must reign in the security apparatus and restore order. A question that the Standard is asking, and you can read that story from page 4 of the Standard. Yes, and I was talking of the leaders that we have in Africa or even in our country, whereby if I think there is a very free space whereby you need to politics, or even you do your politics freely, even without touching of every other person. So maybe if you feel that going past what you're doing politically, feel that is needy, or even you need to up your game, you need to pull up your socks to make sure that some things are not done. Yes, it is called stage management for former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, but I'm looking at as an event whereby if you go to church, you find pastor, you find parents, you find young people, you find middle-aged, you find youth, you find Gen Zs around the same sanctuary, but it could look so much dangerous and so risky and for so much inhumane for someone like Rigathi Gachagua, as it is purported that it is stage managed for someone like that to go to a church and stage such and or even to place such as it by children are choked, a lot of people were harmed. If you could just go to the find what the kind of pictures that you find posted on the same or even from the same back, you find that someone who is good at art, I feel it won't look good for them maybe to stage such an attack or even to stage such an action to children, which is very wrong, and to church, whereby this goes against the law, goes against the freedom of worship, and again the freedom of you trying to assemble in whichever denomination or church you just want to be. So these political attacks, we sorry for that, and we're coming back shortly. Welcome back, and I was saying that some of the things that maybe are purported or even that are connected to someone trying to stage manage such a dangerous act to, or even within a church, to a lot of people who attended the same, I think it won't serve well. But because I have guests around, we shall be talking more of this. So moving on, we're looking at a very, very kind of a picture where a lot of children from the top page of the Standard are so depressed by the situation that they found themselves in during yesterday's attack in Othaya, where SEK Church, where Deputy President, former was attending. In page 2 of the Standard, our teachers manage big numbers and deliver up top results. And exam results show several schools with hundreds candidates are excelling. This suggests that principals can manage big populations and still deliver good results. The story you can do from page 2 of the Standard. And this is page 3 of the same. Prison officer is rewriting the future of inmates' children. And Crispina Swafula has launched an initiative supporting children to incarcerated parents in Western Kenya. He provides school fees, uniforms, learning materials, and counseling for 34 children, helping them stay in school. Do the same story from page 3 of the Standard. Then we're looking at Gachagua Nyeri church attack was an attempt to eliminate me. A story you can read from page 4 of the Standard about the attack that took place yesterday. Then a story that we are doing on our interview today, it's all about ODM split widens as Sifuna-led wing vows to contest 2027 presidency. Remember, Sifuna is the SG ODM party. Page 5, read the same story. And from page 6, Kenya hosts meeting on elephants and climate. The last one is from page 7, where Gachagua fights to lock Ruto out of Mount Kenya. And a story still will be doing on the same. But a story we also need to touch, or even you need to read more about. It's all about the SHA from page 8. SHA denies jobs bias as ex-NHIF staff still waiting for deployment. That's from the Daily Nation, from the Standard, sorry. And the Daily Nation is talking about court battle reveals our investment in hospitality, real estate, and aviation. And this is Wambui fighting equity auction over 8 billion debt. When President Ruto swept to power, businesswoman Mary Wambui got lucky. The state dropped a 2.5 billion tax evasion case against her. The traders companies also went on to bag multi-billion shilling tenders to import foodstuff as she too was appointed to a plum state job. But her business empire is under threat from 8.2 billion loans, with Equity Bank seeking to auction our flagship asset, Glee Hotel. And we can look at some of the loans that she's maybe acquired, or even that she's got from Equity Bank. She is the borrower, and we've got a Glee Hotel Limited. A loan balance is 6,186,802. That's in billions. Then Glee Hotel again, 909,343,358. We've got Parma Holdings Limited, which the bank owes 547,178,886 shillings. We've Albatros Aviation, which owes 119,075,440 shillings. And we've Enterprise Supplies Limited, 59,957,348. This is totaling to 8 billion, yes, 267,703. Where that's when we used to do mathematics in figures and in words. Yes, yeah. So such a distressing story from Wambui, and we wish all the best. She does her business. And our rogue police planned attack on Gachagua. That is from just down from the first story on the Daily Nation. And we're looking at the violent attack on former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua during a church service in Othaya, Nyeri County. Yesterday was alleged planned in Nairobi on Friday, according to an officer who claimed to have been part of the operation. And now we're moving on again into politics, the same Daily Nation, where Ida welcomes diplomatic job offer. Something we'll be digging deeper into knowing the impacts and the results of the same. And Mama Ida Odinga, the widow of former ODM leader Raila Odinga, has welcomed goodwill messages following her nomination by President Ruto as Kenya's ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations Environment Program. That you'll also read it from page 6. And Constance lowest turnout of senior school students. The Ministry of Education says about 80,000 grade 10 learners are still at home nationwide. And that's a story that's also taking a very different twists, whereby yesterday Deputy President Kindiki Kithure talked of a transition of about 92% of grade 10, which we're still looking out to see whether it's true. But contrary to the same from Daily Nation, National Schools low intake of grade 10 learners refills gaps. So the two stories that are so different that they are contradicting one another. From page 3, you can read the same story. And from page 3, Judiciary and SRC clash over judges' retirement benefits bill. And this is the same story from top, where Tycoon fights luxury hotel auction over 8 billion debt. And then with page 6 about Ida Odinga. Then the last one, it's all about officer reveals plans of Gachagua charge attack. And those stories, you can do them from, or even you can get them from the Standard newspaper and the Daily Nation. That's where we get up today, as we are doing an interview just after this about the ODM UDA question that argues within and the plan to do a merger within ODM, or even between ODM and UDA party. What are the results? What do we see after this? And what are the political implications if UDA party and ODM form a kind of a combination politically? Stay there. We're coming back shortly.